every thought that you have impacts every cell of your body. So if you're living in a traumatic, if you're living under this, you're living in a state of trauma, it's wrecking your body, it's wrecking every cell of your body, it's changing your brain chemistry. It's toxic, it's damaging everything, so you can't think straight if you live in that. So this is why it's so important that we forgive. So very much related to toxicity is forgiveness. Because trauma, we've got to forgive someone else, very often ourselves. When we miss the mark, when we sin, we also have to forgive ourselves, because we can get mad at ourselves if we keep doing things over and over. Sometimes forgiveness is every person's individual who they're forgiving, but forgiveness is filled with courage, because forgiveness isn't saying that doesn't matter what happened to you. It's not saying I forgive that person, and it is actually releasing you from and disconnecting you from the person who hurt you. So in the case of trauma, because of the principles of entanglement that I spoke about earlier on, the fact that if someone's traumatized you or persons have traumatized you, you're entangled. There's a relationship, even though it's a toxic relationship. So there's a connection. So it doesn't matter where they are in the world. You may be away from that person. If they think a toxic thought about you or you think about them, you're still connected. It's
this is a scientific thing?
This is scientific. There's no space. There's no space between you. It's non-local. So there's non-local action at a distance. So instantaneously, as you think of that toxic pain, that person may be 10,000 miles away from you, but it's as though they're right in front of you. And that's why PTSD, when people relive a trauma, it comes back with all not only the information, but all the emotions that are also attached, which have a chemical representation in the brain. And then also the connection to the other person, so it gets re-energized. And then there's this connection with that person or persons who hurt you, and they are energizing you, so they're kind of in your head. So when you forgive, you disentangle, you break that connection. You physically break that connection, so that no longer can they get access to this. There's nothing for them to access anymore. If you've forgiven and eliminated, then, and in this state, there's no access. In this state, you're vulnerable, very, very, very vulnerable to others. This is why God says, if you forgive for your own healing, literally.
That's right.